What if, on the happiest day of your mother's life, a dark secret threatened to destroy everything you thought you knew about your family? Imagine being disinherited, kicked out of your home without a clear explanation, only to discover years later that a shocking truth had been hidden from you and the world. This is what happened to Igor, the protagonist of our story, who finally decides to confront his mother on the very day of his new wedding. But what he discovers will leave everyone speechless. Before continuing, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more exciting and twisty stories like this one. Stay until the end to discover the secret that changed Igor and his family's lives forever. Igor grew up in a big house, but loneliness was his only companion. His father, Mario, was an extraordinary artist, a man who had given him a love of painting and art, a refuge in an otherwise cold and distant life. His mother, Anita, was a successful businesswoman, but their relationship was anything but affectionate. Anita was always busy, focused on building her empire, while Igor often took refuge in his father's study, where paints and canvases seemed to be the only things that understood his heart. After Mario's tragic death, Igor never imagined that his mother would disinherit him and kick him out of the house, leaving him to fend for himself at the age of 20. It was a devastating moment. Igor, still a teenager, suddenly found himself without a family, without a guide, forced to survive alone in a world that seemed cold and indifferent to him. Years later, Igor, still struggling to build a decent life, receives an unexpected invitation. Anita is getting married again. The name of her future husband, Carlo, is completely unknown to him. Igor can't help but wonder why his mother, after having pushed him away, is now inviting him to her wedding. Is it a gesture of redemption? Or is there something else, something darker? Determined to find out the truth, Igor decides to attend the ceremony, but not to celebrate. Anger and pain drive him to seek answers. What led him to be cut off from his mother's life? And why does he seem to want to reconnect now? On the wedding day, Igor shows up at the church, observing Anita and Carlo's apparent happiness from afar. The church is decorated with white flowers and candles that illuminate the room with a warm, soft light. But for Igor, everything seems cold and distant, almost unreal. As the ceremony is about to reach its climax, with the exchange of rings, Igor feels he can no longer remain silent. Rising from his seat at the back of the church, he interrupts the priest and all eyes turn to him. "I have something to say," he announces, his voice firm but full of emotion. Anita, visibly surprised, tries to remain calm, but Igor is not intimidated. "How can you remarry while pretending that I do not exist? You abandoned me and disinherited me, and now you want to erase the past as if nothing had happened. I demand to know the truth." Carlo, the new husband, is confused and asks Anita for explanations. But that's when Clara, an old family friend and Igor's godmother, intervenes. "Anita, it's time for you to tell everyone the truth," she says in a firm voice that echoes in the silent church. All eyes are on her, while a shiver runs down Igor's spine. "Igor," Clara continues, "your father didn't die in an accident. He was murdered." The revelation falls like a bolt of lightning, leaving everyone in disbelief. Anita tries to stop Clara, but it's too late. The truth she had tried to hide for years is now out in the open. Igor, shaken by the revelation, desperately asks his mother who killed his father. Anita, with tears in her eyes, finally admits the truth. "It was your Uncle Diego. He did it out of jealousy, out of greed. He wanted everything your father had built. At this point, let's pause for a moment. If you were in Igor's shoes, how would you react upon discovering such a devastating secret? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Back to the story, Igor is overwhelmed with anger and grief. His own uncle, a person he trusted, destroyed his family. Anita, who had tried to protect Igor from this truth, ended up pushing him away, only causing more pain. But now the truth has come out, and Igor, despite everything, decides to do what is right. Determined to honor his father's memory, he decides to bring Diego to justice. With the help of Clara and Anita, he begins to gather evidence against his uncle, uncovering a scheme of fraud and manipulation that Diego had orchestrated to obtain the rights to Mario's works. The days become a succession of feverish searches among documents yellowed by time, letters that speak of secret agreements and witnesses who finally come forward. Each discovery brings Igor closer to the truth, but also closer to understanding the weight of the betrayal he suffered. The legal battle is difficult, but in the end, Igor manages to have Diego convicted, finally putting an end to that long and painful story. Anita and Igor, after years of separation, begin to rebuild their relationship, step by step. Anita, sorry for her actions, tries to be the mother Igor had always wanted. The two often find themselves talking about the days gone by, trying to fill the void that had been created between them. Every word, every gesture becomes a brick to build a new relationship based this time on truth and mutual respect. Now, if you've come this far, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to support us. Every gesture of yours helps us to continue telling stories like this. The story ends with Igor and Anita, despite the wounds of the past, starting a new chapter in their lives. During an afternoon in the garden, while sipping tea, Anita says to Igor, "I know I made a mistake, but I want to make up for it. I want to be in your life. I really do." Igor looks her in the eyes and, with a smile, replies, "Let's start over, Mom, side by side." The truth, as painful as it may be, has a unique transformative power. It is like a light that, once turned on, cannot be turned off. Even in the darkest moments, when all seems lost, the truth emerges as a force that sweeps away the shadows, allowing us to see things for what they really are. It is the key to healing the wounds of the past and to rebuilding bonds that we thought were broken forever. Only through love and understanding can we face our deepest fears and find peace.